Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
New video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni showed unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
The tension between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has reached a boiling point, and it seems like every day there's a new layer to this messy legal battle. What started as a behind-the-scenes feud on the set of It Ends With Us has spiraled into a public war of accusations, leaked footage, lawsuits, and even social media shutdowns. It's the kind of drama you'd expect from Hollywood, only this time it's playing out in real life, and everyone seems to have an opinion about it.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film being harassed online.
Let's rewind for a second. Blake Lively, best known for her work on screen and as part of one of Hollywood's most beloved power couples with Ryan Reynolds, filed a complaint last December that set the stage for this showdown. According to her, Justin Baldoni, her co-star, director, and studio head on the film, created an uncomfortable and allegedly inappropriate work environment during filming. Her complaint outlines specific incidents, including one during a slow dance scene where she claimed Baldoni leaned into her, kissed her forehead, rubbed his face against her neck, and made comments about how she smelled. Blake's legal team has called these actions unscripted, unplanned, and unprofessional, especially since there was reportedly no intimacy coordinator on set, a major red flag in today's industry standards.
Shutting down a woman's claims.
She is claiming that there was harassment. He's saying none of it is true, never happened, never did.
Fast forward to now, and Justin's legal team is hitting back hard. In what many are calling a bold move, his lawyer, Brian Friedman, released unedited footage from that exact scene to the public. The video, according to Baldoni's side, clearly refutes Blake's claims and shows what they describe as a professional working environment. The footage reveals the two actors slow dancing while exchanging dialogue about how the scene should feel more romantic, with Blake herself suggesting they talk to make it seem more natural. At one point, Baldoni is seen leaning in and asking if his beard is bothering her, to which Blake laughs and mentions her spray tan. His team insists this proves there was no ill intent or misconduct, portraying Blake's lawsuit as an overblown attempt to twist the narrative.
Is creepy Baldoni getting close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward.
But here's where things get even messier. Blake's team didn't take this move lightly. They fired back, calling the release of the footage damning and arguing that it actually supports her claims. According to her legal team, the video shows Blake physically leaning away from Justin's advances, a clear sign of discomfort. They also pointed out that no matter how innocent the footage might appear, the fact that these actions weren't discussed or agreed upon beforehand is the real issue. They describe Blake's demeanor in the video as someone trying to keep the situation lighthearted to deflect unwanted advances, something many women in the workplace can unfortunately relate to. For Blake's team, the release of this footage isn't just unethical, it's part of a larger campaign to publicly discredit her.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a because that's what it sounded like to the public.
And this public sparring isn't limited to just the footage. Blake's lawyers have accused Friedman of violating professional conduct rules by turning what should be a courtroom matter into a media circus. They claim he's been giving interviews, leaking documents, and making inflammatory statements to sway public opinion. In response, they've asked the court to impose a gag order on him, essentially silencing his ability to speak about the case outside of the courtroom. Blake's team argues that this kind of behavior could taint a potential jury and undermine the judicial process, especially since Friedman has reportedly been planning to release even more evidence online, including text messages and emails. His team is even talking about launching a website dedicated to clearing Justin's name.
They believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
But Justin's camp isn't backing down. Sources close to him have called the gag order request hypocritical, pointing out that Blake herself went to the press first with her allegations. According to them, Justin has every right to defend himself publicly, especially since these accusations have already cost him multiple jobs and a significant amount of money. They argue that withholding evidence from the public isn't fair when Blake's side has already weaponized her complaints in the media. Friedman has doubled down, saying that the truth will come out and that the released footage is just the beginning.
Blake Lively's team says that in showing this video, they are blaming the victim here. They also say that they'd prefer litigating this in court rather than in the public sphere.
Meanwhile, this legal battle has had ripple effects beyond just the two stars. Colleen Hoover, the author of the book It Ends With Us, has found herself caught in the crossfire. Colleen had posted a heartfelt message of support for Blake when the allegations first surfaced, thanking her for being honest and kind. But after the backlash against both the film's promotion and her support for Blake, Colleen deactivated her Instagram account. This isn't the first time she's stepped away from social media amidst controversy. Fans might remember that she faced criticism last year for tone-deaf promotional collaborations tied to the book, including a nail polish line and even a coloring book, which she later apologized for. Now, with this legal drama unfolding, it seems she's chosen to step back once again, rather than engage with the public fallout.
One of the most significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film.
And let's not forget the rest of the cast and crew who are also feeling the heat. Jenny Slate and Brandon Sklenar, who worked alongside Blake and Justin, have publicly voiced their support for Blake, admiring her bravery for speaking out. But others in the industry are staying silent, likely wary of getting pulled into the mess. It's clear, though, that this situation has divided not just the people involved, but also fans and the public at large. The online reaction has been unsurprisingly intense. Fans are split down the middle, with some siding with Justin and others rallying behind Blake. One commenter wrote, "So she can leak her complaints to the press, but when he tries to clear his name, he's only allowed to do that in a closed court. Make it make sense?" Another chimed in, "How is it a smear campaign if it's actual audio/video of a scene in question? A smear campaign would have to involve lying." These comments reflect a growing frustration among fans who feel like this battle is being fought more in the headlines than in the courtroom.
Right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment. Not surprising.
But for every supporter of Justin's, there's someone standing firmly behind Blake. Many have pointed out that just because something looks fine on the surface doesn't mean it was okay. The lack of an intimacy coordinator, the power dynamics at play, with Justin being both her co-star and director, and Blake's visible discomfort in the video are all red flags for her supporters. They argue that this isn't just about one scene, it's about a pattern of behavior that Blake has been brave enough to call out, despite the personal and professional risks. Blake's supporters have also noted the broader implications of her lawsuit, pointing out how it could set a precedent for how workplace boundaries are handled in Hollywood moving forward. With the industry already under scrutiny in the post-Me Too era, many are watching this case closely as a litmus test for whether those in power can be held accountable. The absence of an intimacy coordinator, which has become a standard on many sets, is particularly troubling for advocates who argue that productions of this scale should prioritize safety and consent. For them, this case highlights the ongoing need for structural changes to protect performers, especially when power dynamics between actors and directors come into play.
Has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing, this lawsuit, saying,
Meanwhile, some neutral observers have raised concerns about how the public back and forth could harm both parties in the long run. Fans have noted that the relentless media coverage and leaked evidence are creating a trial by public opinion atmosphere, which could overshadow the actual facts of the case once it reaches court. Others worry that the focus on personal reputations, rather than the systemic issues at hand, could detract from the larger conversation about accountability in the industry. Regardless of which side people fall on, the case has stirred up a heated debate about justice, professionalism, and the role of the media in shaping narratives before the legal process plays out. Adding fuel to the fire is Justin's recent lawsuit, not just against Blake, but also her husband Ryan Reynolds and her publicist Leslie Sloan for what he claims is a coordinated effort to ruin his reputation. This lawsuit, seeking hundreds of millions of dollars, accuses Blake's camp of manipulating the media and spreading false information to paint Justin as the villain. Blake's team has called this move a textbook example of retaliation, accusing Justin of trying to silence her and shift the narrative.
At all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
As this drama unfolds, it's clear that the stakes are incredibly high for both sides. For Blake, this is about standing up against what she describes as harassment and retaliation. For Justin, it's about clearing his name and restoring his career. And for the public, it's a front row seat to one of the most contentious Hollywood disputes in recent memory. What's striking about this case is how it's playing out almost entirely in the public eye. In a world where social media can make or break careers, both sides are leaning into public perception as much as legal strategy. But is that fair? Should cases like this be left to the courts, or does the public have a right to see the evidence and form their own opinions? And what about the broader implications? What does this say about power dynamics in Hollywood and how far the industry still has to go in creating safe work environments?
Most of his career, he has been a major proponent of feminism, of healthy masculinity. How does it feel for him, though?
One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. With more evidence reportedly set to be released, social media reactions continuing to pour in, and both sides digging their heels in, the drama surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni isn't going anywhere anytime soon. What do you think? Is Justin justified in defending himself publicly, or is Blake right to call for a gag order? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding saga.